Now, the last game that we have to talk about, we have the 1-2 Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Lambeau Field to take on the 2-1 Green Bay Packers. This game is going to be played on CBS with a 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. The Packers are currently a 6.5-point favorite in this game. Last time we saw Pittsburgh, they lost to Cincinnati 24-10, and it seemed like this game was a little bit more one-sided. And once again, the Steelers cannot get the offense going. Big Ben. A lot of people are asking, should he be benched? Did you try to put in Dwayne Haskins or Mason Rudolph? Well, we don't know what's happening with Dwayne Haskins because he's currently listed as questionable on the injury report with a face injury. So if Big Ben was to get pulled in this game, we probably most likely would see Mason Rudolph. Now, the offensive flaws for Pittsburgh is not all of Big Ben's fault. Everybody keeps trying to make it out like Big Ben is the problem. He's not the problem, but he's part of the problem. I think Ben Roethlisberger is injured, and he's trying to play through the injury. And on top of that, he's also regressing. And he's giving me 2015 Peyton Manning vibes. You guys remember what happened to Peyton Manning his last year playing for the Denver Broncos when they won that Super Bowl? He had a good first 2 weeks. Then Thursday night against Kansas City, he broke some record. And then after that, Father Time caught up to him, and he wasn't the same. He had to miss pretty much a big chunk of the season. That's when we saw Brock Osweiler ball out. He got Denver to the playoffs. And then once he came back, Denver didn't really ask him to do that much. You got to remember, this was a Peyton Manning who couldn't really throw the football downfield more than 30 yards. So for Pittsburgh, you got to try to get the run game going. Well, the run game hasn't really gotten going because Pittsburgh is still having problems trying to run the football. And on top of that, two of their starting offensive linemen, and Kendrick Green and Okorafor, currently are listed as questionable. And Okorafor most likely may not play because he has a concussion, or he's in the concussion protocol. So the Pittsburgh Steelers could be without him. So for Najee Harris, he's going to be the vocal point of the Steelers offense, rather that be running the football or in the passing game, because not only are two starters on the offensive line questionable for Pittsburgh, but two of their best wide receivers in Juju Smith-Schuster and Deontay Johnson are also listed as questionable. So for Pittsburgh, you have an offense that was already struggling. Now you have an offense that's going to be maybe without some of their best players on the offensive line and that wide receiver. So for Najee Harris, the Steelers are going to be calling on him a lot in this game. Not only trying to get the run game going, but also trying to get the passing game going. Now, one thing about Pittsburgh is that they still are committed towards getting the run game going. Najee Harris had 14 attempts last week for 40 yards, so they're still committed to running the football. It's not like they're only giving him 3-4 carries and then they're just completely abandoning the run game. They're still committed to it. But you have to ask yourself, at what point is the run game finally going to get going? Now, you look at Green Bay, their linebackers aren't really all that great. So if you could get some decent run blocking up front, you could have a okay day running the football on this Packers defense. I'm not saying that they are. I'm saying that you could have a okay day. I'm not saying that Pittsburgh's going to come in and run for 150 yards plus or something like that. But Pittsburgh could have a solid day on the ground if they could get some solid run blocking up front. Now for Green Bay, okay, what do you have to do to win this game? Well, first, don't turn the football over, because when you have an offense that's struggling, you don't want to give them the ball back and then potentially they have an extra possession, maybe on a short field. So you don't want to help this Steelers offense or assist this Steelers offense in any way. On top of that, this Packers defense needs to force the Steelers to throw the football downfield. This Steelers offense hasn't really changed all that much. I thought it would. I thought Matt Canada would be innovative, but he's just doing this simple jet motion offense that really isn't confusing the defense. He's not really doing anything. You can't really get play action going because you don't have enough time to set up play action. And on top of that, not only do you not have enough time to set up play action, but you're not fooling anybody because you can't even have success running the football. And you can't do play action if you can't run the football, because defenses aren't going to bite on the play action fake because you're not a threat to run the football. So for Green Bay, if I'm their defensive coordinator, I'm saying this is what we're going to do. We're going to play up on these wide receivers. We're going to jam these wide receivers, especially if Deontay Johnson and Juju Smith-Schuster don't play, because then you're looking at backup wide receivers. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are pretty good when it comes to producing good wide receivers, but you're going to have James Washington and Chase Claypool if Deontay Johnson and Juju Smith-Schuster don't play. And we saw this Steelers wide receiving core, or at least the backups that were in, like Ray McCloud, have a good amount of drops. So if you're Green Bay, I would simply play up on these wide receivers and force Big Ben to throw the football downfield. Now, I still feel like Big Ben does have the arm strength to throw the football deep. Like, people act like he can't throw the football deep at all. I think he still does have a good amount of arm strength to throw the football downfield. Now, can he do it consistently? I don't really think so. But I really feel like if Green Bay can stop this short pass attack for Pittsburgh, they're most likely going to win this game, because Pittsburgh's short passing game is also heavily utilized on third downs. That's why Pittsburgh is somewhat effective in third down situations, even though they can't run the football on third downs all that much, because they utilize the short pass attack. So if Green Bay just plays up and they say, hey man, you can try to beat us deep, we want you to try to beat us deep. So if you're a Packers fan and you're getting beat by the Pittsburgh Steelers down the field, you have no problem with that, because at the end of the day, they're bread and brothers doing this little short slant routes and these bubble screens and all that other stuff, man. So if you're Green Bay, you want Pittsburgh to force you to beat you downfield. Now, if you're the Steelers defense, you got to be able to get pressure on Aaron Rodgers. You got to be able to keep him inside the pocket. You don't want him to extend plays and start creating and start being a bad man. And it's going to start with the pass rush. Well, the pass rush right now is kind of a question outside of Cam Hayward. You don't know the status of TJ Watt, who currently still listed as questionable with that groin injury, and Alex Highsmith. So somebody's going to have to step up off the edge. Melvin Ingram's going to have to step up. Somebody's going to have to step up in this play. Maybe Mike Tomlin's going to try to send some exotic blitzes at Aaron Rodgers to try to create some extra pressure. But you do have Cam Hayward, who has been playing very, very well this year. Cam Hayward's been balling out. Not enough people are talking about it. So for Pittsburgh, man, like, this is going to be a really tough game for them. But one thing that you do have going is that you have a really good defense. Your defense is going to keep you in the game. Like, Pittsburgh's defense, regardless of how bad the offense plays, is going to keep them in this game, at least heading into the fourth quarter. The question is, can the Steelers get enough plays on offense to be able to put some points on the board? And we're not talking about field goals. We're talking about touchdowns. And really, the only way the Steelers offense really gets going is if they are able to get a penalty, like a pass interference or a big holding call downfield on the defense. That seems like the only way they're able to move the ball down the field is when the defense is committing penalties. So if you're Green Bay, if you can stay disciplined and force Pittsburgh to have to sustain drives, you have a good chance of winning this game. So I'm going to take Green Bay to win this game. And it hurts me to say this because I am a Steelers fan. But, I just don't really think that this offense is going to be able to muster up anything. For Pittsburgh to win games now, they have to rely on their defense. And their defense pretty much has to do everything. They have to get stops. They have to get turnovers. They probably got to help the offense win the field position battle. So I don't really think that this Steelers defense is going to be able to win them this game by themselves going against Aaron Rodgers. Because normally when you face Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't really turn the football over that much. He doesn't really make a lot of mistakes. So for Pittsburgh, man, like, they're going to have their work cut out for him. And also, we don't know the status of TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith, two of their best pass rushers out. You still do have Cam Hayward, but man, I don't really know, man. This is going to be a tall task asking the Steelers defense to win the game by themselves. This offense is going to have to be able to do something. And to be quite frankly with you, I don't really know if they're going to be able to do it. But if you're looking at this from a fantasy football perspective, start Najee Harris, because I definitely feel like Najee Harris is going to eat in this game. But I'm going to take the Green Bay Packers to win this game at home. 27-17 is going to be my final score prediction in this game. I'm taking the Packers.